All right, so today, like most days, unfortunately, I made the grave error of opening Twitter. And here is just a word of advice to all of you. Do not open Twitter. You will have your brain rotted to hell. It is just full of idiots talking about things. They have no idea what they're saying. There's no sources. There's nothing. It is just blatant misinformation and stupidity. That is all that Twitter is anymore. But anyway, while I was scrolling today, I saw that PowerDF made 4 different tweets talking about how people in the 2K community just love to cry and, oh, y'all should just stop playing the game if you're not having fun, bro. It's not the company's fault. Including a full 2-minute video as one of the tweets. Like, he just had so much to say today for whatever reason. And all of the takes he made in that video and the tweets are so dog shit that I need an entire video to break them down. I couldn't just reply on Twitter in the replies of the tweets because I didn't have enough time. I would have hit the tweet limit from how much dumb shit he was saying. So we really need to sit here and break this down. This is going to be a long video. So let's get right into this. The first tweet he put out today was, one thing I've noticed is the people who play the game the most are usually the ones who complain about it the most. 2K players hate 2K and wish it was more like Madden. Madden players hate Madden and wish it was more like 2K. We always want what we don't have. So let's break this down. First of all, the first claim that he says is that the people who hate 2K the most are the ones who play it. That is a true claim, and I'm sure that's true for the majority of other games. My issue is the reason we hate the game so much is because we love basketball and want a good basketball product. But of course, you don't mention that, of course, because you need to suck up to 2K, right? You can't mention that part. And the second claim here is 2K players wish the game was more like Madden. I have been uploading 2K YouTube videos criticizing the game for over a year. Never once in my life, whether it's on Twitter, my own videos, someone else's videos, have I ever in my life seen someone say, we want 2K to be more like Madden? So that is literally just something he is pulling out of his ass. I have never seen anyone say that. And if you do say that, you're an idiot because Madden is a terrible game. Now, the vice versa, if he wants to say that Madden players wish it was more like 2K, I'm not a Madden player, but if you are a Madden player, please let me know. Do you want Madden to be more dog shit and be filled with more microtransactions and be more like 2K? Please, let me know in the comments if you're a Madden player. I'm sure that's exactly what you're looking for. So there's brain dead tweet number 1. Let's get to the second tweet here. He said, a lot of times I just ignore people's complaints on here because I've been around long enough to see the cycle. If you keep buying the game every year and still complain, you're not helping. You're supporting the very thing you hate. Either push for change or let it go. The community acts like it has no power when it does. And honestly, it gets tiring. Most people say they want change, but in reality, they just want to vent. Now, what he's saying here on paper is true. Complaining is not going to get us anywhere if we're being realistic, okay? But that is the only thing left that we can do. Realistically, would not buying the game every year, if everyone did that, would the game get better? Absolutely. Realistically speaking, that is never going to happen. Brain dead idiots will buy the game every year and spend thousands on microtransactions, and that's how we got to where we are now. So the only thing we have left to do is complain and hope that the game gets better. Because if I stop buying the game, that's not going to make a difference. The only person that loses there is me. I lose out on a basketball game, okay? So that's just a stupid take. Yes, if everybody stopped buying the game would improve in a hypothetical sense. That is never realistically going to happen. And when he says if you buy the game every year and still complain you're not helping, buying the game is not the issue. It's spending money on all of the microtransactions. And let me also just say something else, okay? If I spend $70 on a video game, I am well within my rights, and it is very reasonable to complain if a video game is dog shit that I paid $70 for, like 2K24 or 2K25 are, okay? Acting like that's unreasonable is ridiculous. If I pay $70 for something, I want what I fucking paid for, and I want a good video game in this sense. So not getting it, obviously, I'm going to complain about it. That's just completely logical. And he also says at the end, people say they want change, they honestly just want to vent. I think that is honestly true for some people. For me, it's both. I want the game to get better, but the game also really annoys me. So getting on the internet and making YouTube videos ranting about the game and getting annoyed, that is a way for me to vent, but I would also like to see the game improve. So there is truth to it. And I also want to speak on the comment where he said the community acts like it has no power when it does. The reason the community is acting like it has no power is because content creators like yourself, Power, will not speak out against 2K and say, hey, what you're doing is scummy. You won't even do it in these tweets. You're essentially just blaming the consumer for 2K's fucking greed and ignorance and just being assholes. You're blaming the consumers instead of blaming the company. And the reason you're doing that is because you want special treatment and you want to go to community day and you want to make better content, which is fine, but don't act like that's not the reason we are where we are with the 2K community. And it's not just him. There are so many other big YouTubers that I call out all the time. There's Solo, there's Double H. There's too many for me to name here, honestly. But they are the reason that the community has no fucking power, because all of the content creators, or the vast majority of them, are on a leash. None of them can say anything critical without sacrificing their community day invites and sacrificing money. And none of them want to do that. And that is why we are where we are. So saying that, oh my God, content creators act like they have no power, you're one of the people acting like you have no power. And that is the reason why. And I know he was referring to the entire community there and not just content creators, but realistically, the community is never going to stop buying this game when it is the only basketball product. So he is right in the sense that the consumer has the ability to not buy the game, but realistically, that's never going to happen. Regardless of how dog shit 2K becomes, at the end of the day, if it's still a basketball product and it's the only one on the market, people are still going to buy it out of love for basketball and wanting a basketball video game. I don't care how bad the game is. That is how it's going to work. So realistically, the consumer really does not have the power, and the community has the power, but just won't use it. People like yourself. So that is a very stupid claim. So then after he posted that tweet, he then put out a 2-minute video, which I'm not going to play because it's going to be too long. I'll leave a link to it in the description if you want to watch the whole thing. I'm going to explain what he says and then explain why it's stupid. We're going to break this whole thing down. So the first big claim he makes in this video is that every year people say the new 2K that just came out is the worst of all time and they're never buying it again. And then when the next one comes out, they end up spending their money on it, whether it's microtransactions, they end up buying the game, whatever, and going back on what they said, right? To an extent, he does have a point here, okay? A lot of people do that. I'm not one of them. I'm not going to be buying 2K26. I'm telling you all that right now. But I know a lot of people will do that. So he does have a point with that. However, it is still the only basketball game on the market. So while it is true that people are being hypocritical and they're doing that, it is literally the only option. So to an extent, I do not blame them. However, you should be honest in the fact that, yeah, the game is dog shit and I'm going to complain about it, but I'm probably going to buy it next year. That is what the majority of people should be saying, and not just blindly saying that they're not going to buy next year's game and then do it anyway. So that is a fair point. Now, the next thing he says is being disrespectful to the developers is not going to get us anywhere, and you should vote with your wallet and not buy the game if you really want improvements, okay? Now, this is going to take me a minute to break down. I'm warning all of you. First of all, the reason people are disrespectful to the developers, particularly Ronnie and mygm, is because they both lie constantly. Ronnie is a weird human being. He lies constantly. We just caught him lying like 3 weeks ago with the fucking slingshot effect. Maybe it was even closer than that. Maybe it was like 2 weeks ago. I honestly don't even remember. But he literally just lied about that and tried to delete the video and cover it up. So when the person who is in charge of the community, Ronnie2K, is a scumbag, yes, we're going to be disrespectful to him because he is disrespectful to us. That is just that simple. We have tried for years and years to be respectful to the developers and tell them, hey, we don't like XYZ. And they continue to ignore us, and Ronnie continues to be disrespectful. And mygm just leaves whenever he feels like it and is a lazy ass. Like, let's be honest about this. He does not care about the game. mygm shows up for 1 month out of the year and just leaves. Do you want people to not be outraged and annoyed by that? Like, are you fucking kidding me? And he's saying to vote with your wallet and not buy the game. And again, in theory, that would work. So that's never really going to happen. So our options are be nice to the developers and try to fix the game, which we've tried. We can then try voting with our wallets. That's realistically never going to work because idiots are going to buy the game every year. So the only option we have left is to try to get through to these fucking developers somehow. And the only option we have left besides being nice is being rude to them and condescending, just like they are to us. So that is what leads to all of that negativity, and that's what causes that. Now, people do go too far. Absolutely, I will agree with that. I see people saying racist shit to mygm all the time, and people go a little too far with Ronnie. Okay, they are weirdos, they are scumbags, but there's no need to be racist and go all the way over the top. So if that's what he's referring to, absolutely, I agree. But at the same time, if they're going to be condescending assholes to us and not care about the game that I'm spending $70 on, I'm going to be a condescending asshole back to them. So that's how that works. Now, the next point he makes in this video is actually absurd. He says the majority of people who are complaining about the game and speaking their mind are just doing it for clout, and he actually had the balls to use the word spineless, okay? Now, I would call spinelessness being too afraid to say anything about the game and having 2K's dick all the way down your throat. And I would say that Power perfectly falls into that category. So if anyone is spineless here and won't speak out about the game, it's him. It's not the consumers actually speaking their mind about the $70 product that they're buying. So that was fucking absurd. I can't even believe he just said that. Like the same guy who is too afraid to speak the truth on Twitter because he wants to go to community day and make more money and get good content just called me spineless. Like that is the world we're living in, people. And notice how he has not a single time brought up the fact that 2K has a monopoly and the company does scummy things. No, he could never mention those things, right? But I'm the spineless one. The consumers are the idiots here, right? It's all the consumers' fault. The company is perfect, right, Power? Like, this is the most retarded ass, like, dick-sucking tweet I have ever seen in my life. They're not gonna let you hit, bro. Just give it up. Now, as far as people making the hate videos for clout, I do think there is some truth to that, and some people do that. I'm sure that that is true to an extent. Now, me personally, I enjoy ripping this game apart. I've talked about this many times on the channel. For whatever reason, whether it's the venting he was talking about or for whatever other stupid reason, I have a lot of fun ripping this game apart and saying that it's shit because it's true, okay? That is where I stand on this. I upload other videos. My channel is not only 2K content, although that is the main thing, okay? I'm sure that is true for other people. It's not true for me and a lot of the other YouTubers that I know. Now, the last tweet he makes here is one of the worst ones. I don't know if it's the worst one, but let's read it together. It always cracks me up when people come on here every few months saying 2K only cares about making money. Yeah, they're a corporation. Did you think you were buying from a basketball charity that spends $1 billion making games for the good of society? Come on, some of you are way too naive. Now, let me just respond to this. No one is thinking this is a basketball charity. That is the dumbest thing I've ever fucking heard. I'm just gonna be honest with you, okay? What we're expecting is a good basketball product when we pay $70. That is what we are expecting. We're not expecting a charity. The other thing I'm expecting is for you to get off Ronnie 2K or whoever else's dick on this game, because you are literally doing backflips and spinning around on the dick. Like, this is ridiculous. Just admit that the company is spineless and that the company only cares about money, but you're not gonna do that. So just give it up. And someone in the replies actually points this out. This guy, Stee here, said, I think it's the point of how spineless 2K is rather than how they want to make money. They'll leave a bug or glitch in for months and months that affect gameplay or the community, but if there happens to be an insane VC method, it would be patched within the hour. 100% true. Let's see what Power responds to that with. He says, that connects to profit though. Issues that affect profit are considered more urgent by the company. Do you see how he is just walking on eggshells and he won't admit that the company is scummy? Like, just say, yeah, that's true. The company is scummy and they have their priorities on money and they don't care about the game or the community. He can't say that. He has to phrase it as, oh, making money is more urgent for the company and all these fucking buzzwords and all these obnoxiously, like, it's just such a stupid explanation. Just say that the company is scummy and move on and that they don't care about the game. So yeah, that is my response to all of the tweets that Power has put out so far. I'm sure he's going to put out more. He's been doing this like all day. I literally needed a 13-minute YouTube video to break down how stupid all 4 of those tweets were. That really like had me losing my fucking mind. Wow, that was brain dead. In summary here, I am tired of these 2K YouTubers just doing tricks on these the dicks of these higher-ups at the company. Just admit that while it is partially the consumer's fault, the company has a monopoly and the company is scummy. I'm tired of people blaming the consumers and, oh my God, it's the consumer's fault. Like they would change, blah, blah, blah. No, the company is just scummy. If the company was not scummy, we never would have been in this situation to begin with. But none of these YouTubers are ever going to admit that. But yeah, we're getting to the 15-minute mark. So let me give a quick shout out to all my members. I appreciate all you guys. If you want to become a member, it's literally $1 a month. You get to see videos early. I'll give you a little shout out at the end of the video. I'm working on more perks as we speak. If you're interested, it's literally $1. YouTube wouldn't let me put it any lower. But if you don't care about that, obviously don't pay the $1. You know, be wise with your own money. But on that note, I'm out of here, people. That's Power DF getting on his knees for 2K. Unbelievable. But anyway, I'm out of here, people. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.